Auckland is an amazing city, an amazing region. It has a lot of diversity, it has a lot of activity. We're on an isthmus, we're coastal, we've got a beautiful Waitawata harbour with lots of sailing boats, and on the west coast, which is in itself rugged and stunning, surrounded by regional forests. I've got the privilege of working with a huge number of amazing team members who provide library services, pools and leisure services. We support park services, venues for hire. We support community and social innovation. We work very closely with our communities and our elected members.
We're really proud to be part of the New Zealand community, working with businesses all up and down New Zealand, keeping Kiwis safe. Auckland Council is a great example of complex New Zealand organisation.
Auckland Council was formed from some 9 smaller cities to create a super city, arguably one of the largest cities in the Southern Hemisphere. So it's a large organisation, it's quite young, and has experienced quite a few of the growing pains that an organisation of its type goes through.
Well, one of our values at Council is kaimahi come first, kaimahi being our staff members, our workers come first. So that's a vision at the very top.
We have something in the order of 10,000 contractors, some 3,500 active contractors on our books.
So contractors, we need to have a great relationship with them so we can work cooperatively. They understand what we want to achieve, we understand how they work.
In my department, when we have, we're frontline staff, and it's exactly that, we're public facing. So we need to make sure that we have the right, design and processes and policies and safety, to keep us safe.
I spend a lot of my time out in the field, supporting my business partners, talking to frontline staff members, asking them about their work. I want to know how they are performing work. Why do they perform something in a certain way? And by asking those questions and listening and watching, I get a sense of whether work is successful or not, and that's ultimately what we're looking for, successful work outcomes.
How we do that at Council is, firstly, on a health, safety, wellbeing standpoint, we take it very, very seriously. Some of our focus was even more enhanced a few years ago when we had some terrible situations happen with staff members. It was a tough wake-up call, and what it did is it really encouraged us to think not only about health, safety, but also health, safety, wellbeing in a much more unified way.
When I joined Council, we had a number of disparate tools, things were siloed.
And there's such a huge risk with doing that, particularly when it comes to health, safety, wellbeing, because you don't quite know the full picture. So people might report into one system, or maybe in another instance they report into another system. And by us not having unified systems, we don't have a completely unified view of what's going on.
There wasn't real information getting to either our people or our decision makers.
Because we're large, because we're complex, we had a lot of different departments perhaps doing things really well, but doing things a little bit in isolation. So we didn't always have a good shared view of risks. And sometimes we had the bit of a risk of reinventing wheels that had already been created, or perhaps not following the most modern applications of health, safety, wellbeing.
We went and looked inside, and we conducted a number of workshops. When I say a number, some 45 different workshops across all of Council. As a result, we spent quite a number of months looking at how we work and what our people needed. Here we are today with Donesafe.
We see partnering with organisations, it's more than just the software. It's looking at what data do they need to capture and what do they need to do with it to be able to make smart and informed decisions.
We look at our dashboard on Donesafe every day. We're eyes wide open, we're looking at data, we're trying to get accuracy and pinpointing where specific things may happen.
With our previous systems and processes, to put together the senior leadership reporting, 2 or 3 of us would spend up to a week gathering information from the various siloed systems. The fact that we were able to pull together robust and reliable data in such a short space of time, instead of a week, week and a half, it's now a day.
It allows us to see aggregated data in a way that tells a stronger and clearer story.
We can identify hotspots, and then we'd look at what is happening, events potentially, or what are the assets that we own in that area and how do they interrelate with one another. So it's not just one particular part, it can be a whole city centre. So how can we understand from our own data, how can we predict potentially things that may go on, so we can try to proactively put things in place.
Another benefit we've achieved is the fact that everybody has access to it via a mobile device. For instance, a park ranger might be out in a park all day. It's probably that evening when the person would come back to their office and try to remember some of the details of an incident. So even then the information was becoming stale.
Being able to capture data simply and easily. So that's the key thing for your workers, your frontline workers. They're doing inspections or have incidents or see hazards around the workplace, getting them to actually get on their phone and quickly log it, take a photo and get it in there.
We've nearly doubled the number of incidents that we're able to capture through our new systems and processes. Just there allows a greater quality of information.
There's a lot going on at Council. We are still embedding a whole lot of Donesafe. What I'm really excited about is as we get more data and it's more visible and our maturity grows, we will start having better conversations around health and safety. I think that's my excitement for the future, is that we're all talking about the same thing.
I've been involved in a number of these types of projects over some 20 years in health and safety, and I can say hand on heart that I believe that we've done this one properly. We've selected a solid, robust product which right now is delivering the sorts of information that we need.
We're still recovering from the old health and safety, 10 million forms, 25 million page documents, and asking people go and do that. We did ourselves a disservice as an industry creating that. That did not make people safe. So what we're doing is we're clawing back. And you talked about simplicity. And when everyone understands what we're trying to achieve and how we can keep that simple and get a great outcome, that's the future for health and safety.